stuck at 2,000 followers for years until I realized the big problem that stops most people growing on LinkedIn. And that's how I was then able to grow to 45,000 plus followers. So in this video, I will show you the #1 mistake keeping your LinkedIn following small. 2, the 30-second rule and how you can use it for explosive growth. And the 6-month roadmap to get to 10K followers. I've even made you a really nice blueprint that you can download and print out to follow in your journey. But before all of that, I want you to imagine 2 woodcutters in a fierce competition to see who can chop more wood by the end of the day. One of them starts furiously, swinging non-stop. He simply wants to win after all. The other pauses for 10 minutes every single hour and still manages to chop more wood by the end of the day. Now, what does chopping wood have to do with growing on LinkedIn? Well, I've never chopped wood in my entire life, but I do know one thing. The fastest woodcutter simply stopped to sharpen his axe. And that's exactly what you need to do in your road to 10K followers on LinkedIn. In the first 30 days of your 6-month roadmap, do not post anything. And yes, I am aware this goes against everything that people tell you to do. But I honestly believe from my experience that your first month is better spent analyzing high-performing topics, formats and concepts, and getting to know the platform both inside your niche and outside of your niche. So you can literally see what works and what doesn't. So when it's your time to actually do these things yourself, you know what to do. Now, for my research, I use 2 main tools: Milanote for researching and inspiration, and Notion to keep track of all of the high-performing posts that I spot on the platform. So if you really want to be like that woodcutter who takes time to sharpen his axe and get to 10K followers faster, you really need to prepare yourself. But let's go back to that woodcutting competition that I do not want to join. But this time you have access to a high-powered chainsaw. It feels like cheating, right? Well, but if you focus on the next 2 things I'm going to reveal, everyone will believe that you are cheating when you are not. But first we need to understand the difference between a 10x and a 2x LinkedIn mindset. This comes from the book 10x is easier than 2x, which generally is what most successful entrepreneurs are doing to win. So 2x tasks result in incremental improvements. They are the safe and conventional tasks that everyone is doing on LinkedIn. But then you have the 10x tasks, and these are the game changers. They are often a little bit riskier, but they have a much better payoff, and they require creativity and boldness. So in this 2nd month, you want to focus on 10x tasks. And these 10x tasks are definitely not overly analyzing data. They are definitely not about repurposing content to different other social platforms. They don't require you to stress about the algorithm. And they are not about trying 10 different scheduling tools to see which one you like the best. Instead, the 2 10x tasks that you really need to focus on are creating content and engaging with other people on the platform. And you can see the difference between the 10x and 2x tasks in the 6-month roadmap that I built for you. So focus on creating content and improving your skill, and focus on engaging and networking with other people inside your niche as well as outside of your niche that are also creating content on the platform. Do this for 30 days, do not worry about anything else, and it's impossible to not see growth. I guarantee you. But obviously you don't just want any sort of growth, you want the right LinkedIn followers. So how do you attract people that really care about the stuff that you are sharing? Well, let's go off script for a little bit. Imagine you just bought a ticket to a crime movie. The mystery is built not by knowing exactly who is the villain, but actually by putting together the pieces throughout the movie and trying to come up with an answer. The producers are literally leaving clever clues that you will then put together and come up with your own narrative, wrong or right. And with each hint, you get more involved in the movie, you get more excited to know what's going to happen next. Now, why am I talking about crime movies after all? Because there's one simple trick that I've learned with these sort of movies that was able to skyrocket my loyal following like no other. And it definitely does not involve crime or shedding blood. But it definitely involves leaving clues. Yes, clues about your personality. Now, let me tell you that most LinkedIn content is boring and has zero personality, and that will never get you to that level where you build, a loyal following of 10K followers or even more. So instead, you want to try this 3-step framework to uncover exactly which hints you should be leaving to your audience. And this is how it works. First, you start by listing your unique traits and the stuff that you really love and geek out about. Then from that list, you pick 2 or 3 that could best resonate with your audience. And obviously, this requires some prior research. And finally, you come up with recurring themes, meaning where are you going to keep dropping these personality hints? So this is what my column 1 could look like. So it's a lot of reading, books, digital nomad life, coffee, dessert, hitting the gym, food, whatever. But I end up picking just 3. So it's reading, it's coffee, and it's my nomad life. And then I come up with some recurring themes. So I'll use my newsletter as well as the comment section of some of my posts to drop the books that I've been reading, the stuff that I bought, and so on. Then I'll also post selfies with some elements of coffee, whether I'm holding a cup or I'm inside a coffee shop. And finally, I'll also share photos of me traveling with some humor into them. And this is what I call personality hints. And they will definitely help you to stand out, to build a loyal following, and to grow faster. And in month 3, I want you to do exactly what you were doing in month 1, but now you're going to start incorporating these personality hints with your audience. But you still need the key to know exactly how to make money with the content that you are creating. Because I definitely know people who get to the 10K mark even more, and they are not able to close a single deal for their business. And the reason this happens is they keep just creating one type of content. This content is really good to reach a wider audience, but it's not good to convert. It's too broad, it's too generic. So let's imagine you sell a software subscription to coffee shops. Which of these 2 pieces of content should you be creating? Number 1, 30-second hack to make your customers' coffee taste delicious. Or 3 techniques for a perfect pour over after 10 years running a coffee shop. Which one should you create? I'll tell you, you should create both of them. When you create a piece of content aimed at reaching a wider audience, in this case, it's definitely the 30-second hack, you want to balance it with something that goes a little bit more in depth and targets a smaller segment of your audience. Because the goal isn't just to attract LinkedIn followers. You want to attract the right LinkedIn followers. You want an audience that resonates with your brand, that engages with your content, and that eventually considers buying your product or service. And so this definitely requires a strategic approach where every piece of content has a very particular goal. It serves a purpose, and those goals can be different from one post to the other, because you are either educating, you're nurturing, or you are converting. So in month 4, you want to spend your time optimizing your content and your strategy to target different segments of your audience. But how do some people seem to just reach their goals on LinkedIn 10 times faster than others? I'm sure you have seen it, right? Like some folks just go from 0 to 10,000 followers in less than, a few weeks. It's crazy. And I can tell you that's what happened to me. I had some crazy growth with just, a couple of LinkedIn posts. And I can tell you that all it took to get there were 30 seconds. But I'm going to explain how. Well, this was one of the posts that drove like a bunch of followers literally overnight. And the way it happened was because I took advantage of 3 simple things. First, I took advantage of the new LinkedIn algorithm being launched. Second, I took advantage of the fact that it was New Year, so the old versus new did really well. And third, I used it as an opportunity to test a format that I saw in other profiles that was doing good, which is like old versus new and basically contrasting two different realities. It was crazy. I've had other posts with the same pattern, but I think it was just because I spent an extra 30 seconds doing this. First, what content format could I use to get more attention? Second, what trend could I relate this to? Third, who can I collaborate with to extend the reach of this post? Fourth, how can I improve the hook to stop the scroll? 5, how can this visually stand out in a crowded feed? I took 30 seconds to go through these questions and then to improve my post and to tap into 1 or 5 of these things to make it that much better. Now, this doesn't work every single time, right? Otherwise, I would be, I don't know, at 10 million followers. But what you want to do is to pick a couple of posts and try to bring in the creativity element. This is what I call creatify. And this works really well because most people are just focused on publishing content without any intention behind it. But you will have the intention of making it 10 times better, and the payoff can definitely be 10 times what you were expecting. Now, speaking of intention, let's go off LinkedIn a little bit. This is the YouTube channel of Noah Kagan. Can you spot what's happening on his channel? And this is the LinkedIn profile of Justin Welsh, one of the most popular guys on the platform. What does it tell you? Well, they keep pushing the same topics over and over again. And the best thing is that their audience loves them even more because of that. So how can you reach the 10K follower mark without actually working more? Well, you need to listen to your audience and keep repeating the things that they tell you they love. And the way you spot these things is by paying attention to 3 important metrics. First one is impressions per post. This is the metric that pretty much tells you if this post was pushed to a wide audience. So if some of your posts are pushed much more than others, that can already tell you that it resonates more with other people. But growing for the sake of growing and just collecting impressions is not enough. So the second metric I like to pay attention to are comments per post. Unless these are very negative comments, usually if one of your posts gets 10 comments and the other gets 50, well, you want to see how. Did it resonate more with your audience? Could you repeat the same sort of topic? What people liked about that? Figure out what people enjoyed about that post. Unfortunately, engagement does not pay the bills. So you also want to see what sort of posts resonated with your audience in terms of conversions. Meaning, did a specific post trigger your ideal buyers to reach out to you and to be more interested in the offer or product that you have to sell? Even if those posts have low engagement, well, they are the ones that probably can make you the most money, so do not neglect them. Follower growth is not the only thing that matters at all. Because if you don't pay attention to both engagement and revenue and conversions, you risk building a platform, with hundreds and thousands of followers that will never exchange anything with you. So in month 6, you've got a simple mission. Double down on what's working. And with this step-by-step roadmap, you're ready to grow to 10K followers on LinkedIn. But you know what also helps you to grow your following? Having an optimized LinkedIn profile that attracts your ideal buyers and compels people to follow you and read everything that you are publishing. So click this video to see how I built my profile to multi-6 figures and how I helped other founders generate millions with their profiles. See you there.